Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about average. This is something we're going to be using constantly, okay? If you don't already have your math notebook out, please pause this real quick, get your notebook out so you can take some notes. I want this to be in your notebook so you can refer back to it later. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten your notebook out by now. We're going to be looking at average. So let's look together at example 1. It says, 4 vans carried the team to the soccer field. There were 5 players in the first van. Let's do van 1 had 5 players. There were 4 players in the second van. 3 players in the third van. And 8 players in the fourth van. So what the average means is if all of the vans were the exact same using these numbers, what would the average be? So we know there are 4 vans. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the total number of kids that were in the vans at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to add, excuse me, we're going to add all of the kids that were in the van. So we have 9, 12, 20. Okay, so there are 20 kids total. Now, if we were going to split up these 20 kids evenly between all 4 vans, I would take now my number, I've added them all together. Now I'm going to divide, not 28, 20, and I'm going to divide by the number of vans, which was 4. Okay? We know that 5 times 4 is 20, so my average, which means if all of the vans were exactly the same, my average would be 5 students in each van. Okay? So this would be my answer. This would be my average. I added up all of them, and I divided by the number of vans that there were. And now I divided it by the number of vans and got 5. Let's try another one. So if I go into my lesson practice, let's do lesson practice A, okay? There is a B and a C that I want you to do. I want you to do all of these and have someone check them because that's how important this is. You're going to be doing this a lot. Okay, so if we look at lesson practice A, it says in 3 classrooms, there were 24, 26, and 28 children. So there were 3 rooms. I'm going to write that down too, just so I know. It's going to be important. What is the average number of child per classroom? That means if there were the same number of kids in every room, what would that number be? So before we can figure that out, we're going to add together my total number of students. 6 plus 4 is 10, 18, 2, 4, 6, 7. So the total number of students that I have in all 3 of my rooms is 78 students. Now I'm going to take that number, 78, and I'm going to divide by the number of rooms. We have 3 rooms. 3 can go into 7 twice. 7 minus 6 is 1. We're going to bring down our 8. 3 can go into 18 6 times. There's nothing left to bring down, so we know that 26 students is my answer. Okay, if all of the classroom had the same. So that's like saying I have 2 extra here at 28. If I gave those 2 students and moved them to this group, all 3 groups would have the same amount. So the first step is adding up how many there are, and then we're going to divide by the number. I like to say divide by the number of numbers. We added 3 numbers together, so we're going to divide by 3. Okay? Sometimes it's not a word problem and it just says, what's the average of all of these numbers? And so if there was no rooms involved, there was no words involved, and it said just find the average of these numbers, you're going to add them all up and divide by the number of numbers. And what that means is how many numbers did you add together? That's what you're going to divide by to find the average. Like I said, we will be using this a ton in the future. So if you're not understanding, do not wait to ask questions. Ask me, ask your mom, ask somebody. I would love for you to do B and C of your lesson practice. Have someone check it at home. That way you know you're on the right track.